welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a video on how I'm not codependent anymore, and that makes me very happy, but also that's how I've noticed, and even biblically, I'm kind of like on the okay holes. You seem to have your shit together more than you thought, because yet again the long-standing realization of life has come back round in that I noticed that from even a biblical standpoint, there are many people with many different viewpoints of life. Not to say they're wrong, but not to say we should have to stand by them or validate them either. The Pharisees, for example, yes, there will be strands of biblical here, up to you whether you want to listen to it, but it's not like going to be a preachy video, it's not like a sermon, but it's just a observation that has validated me in my way of being, because I feel like it's like lockdown, it just brought down a hell of a lot of like arguments for me. Not gonna lie, thought the person's a sociopath and a psychopath and a narcissist and all this, but that aside, rather not talk about it. But the fact is, you know I'm not perfect either. Reactive abuse is a thing, and I have my own flaws, don't we all? But the Pharisees are a group of people in the Bible that are, in case anyone wants to know, are a group of religious leaders. They're sort of like quite higher up religious leaders, but they kind of are known to twist the scripture to meet their own needs. I see from a logical standpoint how people live lives, and they can't, like, we're not all knowing beings, we're not Jesus, we're not perfect, so to some extent most of us will probably twist the scripture or twist the way we live in some ways to suit our personal needs. For example, I have been known to use crystals and stuff, not advocating it. I don't know if it's something I'm going to be using long term. It's only something I've picked up in a very small space of time, and I don't know whether it's actually brought anything good to my life in overall. Maybe a bit of temporary pleasure, but has it brought in bad stuff as well? Who knows, probably. But the fact is, I would be like, oh, I like to try and like understand scripture and, you know, stuff like that. I've noticed from things like Bibles and stuff, you can't force yourself to do this stuff sometimes. Sometimes I'm a bit of a learn by trial and error kind of thing. So if you've, like, you know, been in sin for ages and you've just got really shit situations and you're like, oh yeah, I probably won't do that next time, that kind of vibe, that's my sort of way of going about things. But yeah, the Pharisees were like a group of people where they would like pretend, they were known to be hypocrites, for example, and Jesus didn't like that. Jesus fought with them. The Pharisees wanted to push Jesus off a cliff because they thought he was a blasphemer and didn't really believe his way of talking about it. I'm not saying I'm Jesus and like other people are Pharisees, you know, not at all, okay, but I feel like that's a good observation for different people and how we have different mindsets and different outlooks on the world, and how, you know, sometimes people just have different viewpoints, and it's not to say that it's right. And this is the thing where it gets very complicated for me, because I think there's this like mindset of like we should all be peaceful, whether that comes from society. I think that's more of a worldly view, honestly, than a biblical one, because it does say in the Bible like Jesus stood up for what he believed in and blah blah blah. But I think obviously for the society we live in, we need this level of peace. Lockdown has shown me that that is actually crucial for our functionality, otherwise we would all kill each other, which would not be ideal. But it still stands that it's a worldly view to all have peace, and the fact is we can't all live in peace all the time. As much as it's great to forgive your neighbour, it's good for the soul, it's good for yourself to forgive your neighbour, if nothing else, you know, in your own due time, it really helps, I found. Oh, my spots are going right away, or whether I've got makeup on there. I was still makeup on, so that's fine. Sleep in my makeup, as you do. But yeah, it's a case of like, we all have our own route and path, and it's okay that other people aren't on your path. Like, that is okay. Behaviour is starting to make a bit more sense to me of other people. It's not that that was really my issue to deal with, so I don't really, you know, it's not your fault if someone's abusive to you. Of course, hopefully I will upload my narcissism video to look at that, but I think my narcissism video is very like related to the Pharisees in general, because narcissists, the thing about I'm not saying Pharisees are narcissists, but I feel like they kind of sound the same, like Pharisee, narcissist, they kind of sound a bit similar. But then there's also a lot of other groups like Sadducees and shit like that. Anyway, let's not get super biblical because I'm not a priest, but the fact is, apparently Pharisees are hypocrites, narcissists are hypocrites. I don't know, there might be something there. But anyway, I'm also not codependent anymore. I feel like I want to just quickly like say this like story. Maybe I'll section this out because it's kind of it's a bit mismatchy, but it also kind of links in together. That I'm not codependent anymore. I've encountered a couple of psychopaths in my recent life, and I've learned to sort of filter them out, or what I perceive as psychopaths. Obviously I'm not professional, they're not getting treated for psychopathy, you know, traits of psychopathy. I have traits of psychopathy, different kind of psychopathy, but people that are manipulative, I'm not manipulative, I can just go off because people are being really nasty to me. I've got my psychopathic traits. But other people, manipulative, different kind of psychopathy, type 1, type 2, but let's not do that. I've talked about that in my nursing video. I'm not psychopath either, but traits are there, but I feel like it's worth it because I need to assert myself. But anyway, I'm not codependent anymore. Went on a dating website last night. Oh my lord, I could not do it. They were like, should we go out tomorrow? And I was like, yeah, okay. 2 o'clock in the morning, I give them a Snapchat like, okay, sorry, I'm not going to be going on that day. I don't think that I want to be dating at the moment. Blocked them, deleted my dating website account. Happy being a single gal. No offence to them, like, you know, I feel like you attract what you're used to, and what I'm used to hasn't been serving me, okay? I'm not here to serve another person, I'm here to serve myself. I'm not putting too much shade on that person, but something inside me was saying, you've attracted another narcissist, you know, okay, no thank you for the offer, I'm going to kindly decline kind of vibe. After a bit of a restless, half asleep kind of moment. But yeah, I'm not codependent anymore. Like, you know, you live and you learn. It's just taught me. I literally sat down with my Bible, I'm like clinging to my Bible like, oh, it's like, it's like, what's traumatic? Once you've been like really badly abused in like narcissistic relationships or whatever, and then you sort of like learn about it, and then it happens again, it's so re-traumatizing, it's awful. You know, I'm sure this has happened to me before, and it's a case of, you know, I'm not codependent anymore, and it's just taught me so much how it only really matters what God thinks of you. Like, I'm not saying we shouldn't all live in harmony and, you know, but at the end of the day, we're all children of God. No one is above each other, we're all equal, and God is like the only person that matters. Like, you know, not that you should treat others with disrespect, and I'm not here to set the rules of the world, but, you know, I literally just don't need that shit, and I can say no. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can say no. Like, I'm not obligated for anything. You know, people, I don't want to get into manipulation and narcissism, but it's so nice to not be codependent. It's a lovely feeling. So if you have any thoughts on any of this stuff, feel free to comment below. Subscribe if you want. Bit of a random one. Thanks for listening. Au revoir.